How is it going? Have you been sick? I was sick last week. It wasn't great because the week before I also had a cold. So I thought like, well, it was like 2 weeks that I didn't really almost leave the house. I came here this day, the Monday, yes, and then I got sick. I guess it's the time of the year. I even read some TV presenter was off because I read this whatever gossip and there was some TV show that goes every day and this TV presenter had stomach disease as well. It's like, okay. Okay. But then I realized one other thing that wasn't that great. So the thing is that we had this geometry done earlier when I thought was teaching this course or this part of the course even 1 year, and we had these quizzes. And now the problem, I don't know if it's a problem, but the thing is a fact that we have the AI. And because you can, maybe you realized, and some of you, I saw that last Monday, but I won't see next time I see in the exam because there's something else to do and there's like, people need to do what they need to do and that's how life goes. But like, there are certain things that we should learn from this course. So, if you can just, because these are done in a very sort of simple way, and you just put there the answer. But if you can just get it from the AI, that's pretty easy to get those points. And if you have something else to do, for example, you're working somewhere, then maybe this is the way you do this. So then what I did, and I realized this now because last summer maybe it wasn't that clear yet that the AI could solve this so well, but now it is. So I put here, now I changed the points here and the geometry is now 12 points only. Well, that's still quite a lot if you think about of 60 points. If you just did it with just like in how many minutes you need to put all those things to the AI and just put the numbers, the answers. And maybe many of you then are quite like good in maths. Maybe you did this kind of things early as well, but here we should somehow make sure that people actually learn something if they didn't know it from before. So this might still change if it looks like this is stupid done this way, but I still have those quizzes there. They should work now well, and I would hope that you would somehow try to also comprehend those exercises there that are there and try to solve them yourself. Or if you ask from the AI, at least go through how it went. And I also then have to ask them in the exam that you are done doing the written exam. Before this, we didn't need to because those exercises are sort of so complicated and then everybody gets their own values there. But now when you can just get the number from this is of course what I have to do. But that was quite eye-opening. When I was sitting at home and then I started checking these and made those like that everything works there or everything should work. And then I just gave some today. I was like, this is not great now. It's not doing what it should do. Okay. But so I don't know how this course will be done in the following years, but when I was doing this base in the last summer, I still didn't know, things are progressing really fast. So let's continue on this week calculating the geometry, and next week we should already go to the next topic. Yeah. Exponential and logarithmic functions. So we will have all these topics now in the exam then. And then I will also have to put those exercises so all the exercises so that they are not exactly the same what we did, because you have good you can remember well everything because you're young. You have that kind of a brain, and you can just like put it there, like, but without any. So this is, it makes it a bit different kind of a course, the AI and the AI solutions. Of course, everybody sort of should still use AI because you will, for sure, everybody will from now on everywhere use it. What can you do? Of course, it also helps, but this is just a big change at the moment. But so let's continue with the geometry. Try to do it the best way you can. Now you know also what to look forward to. So only these points. Maybe I will still have to put there less points of these because this is the situation now, and then we will have to do this in the written exam. And I will here calculate some of these exercises by myself. You can ask if you want to, or I will just like basically like lecture them here, just calculate on the paper. Even if for sure you can ask everything from the AI and it will give you all the solutions just there. So do you even need me to do that? But I don't know, but okay. I'm sure there's a big change also in other courses. But then if you have courses where you have to gather information and make some kind of, like where you have wider topics, then of course that's even a good thing that you have the AI. You can just, it can give you all the solutions for everything. So maybe the geometry basic is quite simple. So I will continue. I will start from the geometry advanced and just go through some of these questions. Just go in the, for example, this. And if you want to ask from some questions, just ask, but maybe you can also ask your friend. I don't know. So, or, and for sure, if I would be a student, I would be using the friend as well. Of course, it helps. It helps a lot, like if you used to have bad teachers, but nowadays it doesn't really anymore matter, does it? There's always like somebody who can explain you those things that maybe couldn't before. Oops. Okay, so I'm just gonna like with those values, at least you all have your own values there. But of course you can all give you the values to the friend if you want to, and then the friend gives you the answer with those values. And for me, I know in this one that my line CP, here is some P, it's 80 millimeters. And the PD is 13. And the distance from the chord CD to the center O is 9 millimeters. So I know this distance here is 9. And then I would want to solve this AP and BP or PB. Okay. It should mean that I would need to know certain things. This is the line basically that I would need to know the length of there. So I know certain things here. I know, for example, the whole length of the CD. Because I know the CP and the PD. That my D would be those 93 millimeters. And then half of it would be 46.5. So then I would know this distance here. And that would be 46.5. So then I could already solve something. I could draw one more line. Here. And I could solve that. So it's OD. Here I have the line OD, which is also the this let's see, need them. Yes, radius of the circle. So my radius, which would be the OD, would be hello. That 9 squared plus the 46.5 squared. Does that make sense? Is somebody watching what I'm doing? At least I'm getting some kind of tape of it. Have you been doing, yeah, well, I didn't even put any info, did I? There's not even no tapes of this course, is there? Yeah, we are doing the geometry. Yes, but it was done a bit different way the previous years, but this year because we have the friend called AI, we have to change a bit. Yeah. Well, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Every year, now there's so many changes all the time that you always get to test new things. And also how the teaching and learning should go. And then maybe we don't even know now what we should be actually teaching or learning, because I guess the professions will change quite a lot in the future as well, or well, in the world where you will be looking for a job, it will be different kind of a job than it was previously. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. And this also, like, now I'm doing this like this, which is maybe stupid. Maybe I should do this straight in the Excel, because in the Excel you can always, if you calculated this with some values and then it gives you another value, you made some kind of a mistake, then you can just put the new values there. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just doing the old-fashioned way. So that's the radius. And then I know the diameter. Also, which is, for example, the AB, totally is the diameter, which would be 2 times. Hello.
Hello, I'm sorry late.
No problem. The radius, of course. Yeah, of course I could take also this exact value. This also helps. 997. Just write it like that. Yeah, so we are calculating here geometry in the old-fashioned way, even if we know that we have the friend.
Learn actually calculate. Yeah, cool. Not using the friend.
Yeah, because now I have to, like I told, but this is also in the tape. I have to also put it somewhere that we can't do it this way, like this has been done earlier, that you just do these questions because they are quite complicated, because everybody has their own values. It should be enough. but now it's not because you can ask the answer straight from the AI. So we have to put these to the written exam as well. There's nothing else we can do because I have to somehow test that some learning has been done,
Yeah, of course.
because this is the compulsory content that should be somehow learned on this course. So
Foundation for the rest of program.
yeah, so
You will have the 30% like nothing here.
oh, light.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you think I don't know if this Windows.
Windows are okay, I think.
Okay. Yeah, because there's no further. I haven't been to this room either ever
Yeah.
earlier, so but should we close those curtains? These. Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, thank you, Douglas.
Hmm. Okay, so now I can solve here. This part, for example, this. When I know that, what did I know? I know this length and I know that length. So I can solve this length. So then I know this length. Yes. So I should first solve this. Maybe I can again use some color. No, but I already know that as well. Yeah. I know that I first solved now this. Now I solved this. Which would be OP. OP. OP would be the 9 squared plus this, which is half of this CD minus PD. Write it there. For example, half PD minus PD is minus 30, yeah. So the OP was 33.5 millimeters. Not OP, no, I'm just not gonna mark it anywhere. It just gets more, looks more complicated. I still didn't solve the OP, I'm still trying to. And then again, I get something. It doesn't even give me any exact numbers here. So I'm doing this really old-fashioned way. I'm just writing by hand all those decimals there. Okay, now I know the OP. Well, it was almost. No. So then I wanted to know the BP. Now I can solve that, and I can solve also the AP. BP is the radius minus OP. I'm not gonna write those numbers. I just put them into the calculator. The radius was something which was some long. Why am I taking all the decimals? Because of the accuracy of the program, actually. For sure, maybe I wouldn't need all of them. But see if I'm managing them with the accuracy. So I already would have the BP, and then the, of course, the AP then would be the, okay, let's mark it with some other color. Now it could be green because there's still the green. Yes, AP. This is not very good. Good pen. AP would be then the radius. Maybe I can't use this pen. Plus the OP. At the OP there. No. Oh, what am I doing? No. Okay, I have to write it again. It's the OP. So then I would have those both. Okay, now I'll go round them. 30 millimeters. And the other 82. millimeters, which is yeah, it should be like that. And then I can try. Save, maybe. Does it say? No, submit. Yes. So at least it's actually at least taking this everything correctly, this program. Also in this exercise. That was the first of these more advanced. I'll go to the next. What is this? Okay, this is pretty simple. So you have to determine X. When A is 6, B is 9, and C is 1. And with 1 decimal place. And then there is something about the circle. I don't remember which one. Yeah, this. So here in the page 19, and I'm using this book again because this is, the one that we use also in the written exams. And the page is here, power of the point in respect to the circle. So here it says this is some kind of a geometric dependency that has been shown. And for sure, you can also find the proof somewhere if you're interested in the proofs. That if you have a point in the inside the circle, this you go from one side to the other through the point, and you have a straight line here. So the length of this AF times the length of the FC is the same as another line that goes there from the one edge to the other. There's BF, the length of the BF, times the length of the FD. This always means when you have something with this kind of something on top like this, it means that it's a vector. And then when it's inside these lines, it means that it's length. Even if we didn't do the vectors on this course. So you can just take the lengths. It's super easy question. If you didn't know this, then it's not so easy maybe. If you didn't know this dependency. I never heard about this dependency before I was teaching this course, because for sure we don't do that much geometry in any school here that we would know all the dependencies, but since my book says this, tells this to me, I can just check it from there. Maybe there's some other way of solving this as well, but I wouldn't go looking for that. This is pretty simple. Okay. So I had a question. Oh, circle again, and then there I have the circle. And then there's some point there, obviously, in the circle. And then there's 2 lines. One was going like this. Well, it could be going any direction. I just, maybe this is a bit too straight. Doesn't matter. It would be the same dependency anyway. And the other there. And then these were named B and A and C and X. And of course, I would need to know the X. And I also know the length, other lengths. A would be 6 and B would be 9. Well, it was millimeters. It doesn't make any difference either. C would be 1, and then I would know that B times X is A times C because of my equation book. Technical formulas, page 19, tells me this. Yeah, now I have to put it with 1 decimal place, so I have to put it to the, this is the 0.666. So if I round it, it should go like this. This is not quite in the correct length in this picture. It's just a sketch. Well done. Okay, so now we have something three-dimensional here. Has somebody been to Egypt and been in seeing these pyramids? No, I haven't either. Okay, but we can start drawing that then. Am I able to draw? Okay, but I have some kind of pyramid. I'm very good in this. And then it has what should it look like? Maybe somebody has learned some three-dimensional drawing, but I haven't. It looks like a pyramid. Here I would still have one. Inside, that's not supposed to be that. It's behind there. That looks okay. It could look better as well. So, but it has a square base. So I would know that the space is square. But this is for me to do one. Height of the triangular face. So the height of this, so if it has a square base, this is also like, how do you say? This the here is some kind of a height. Oops. Height of that is like 172. What is the correct way of calling the equilateral triangle? Now I need to know the original height. Yes. So I have to know the height and I can calculate it from this. So I have to think that the height is of course here. Now this starts to look maybe nasty. Drawing. Here is the height. This is what I need to know in the. Let's put this like height 1 and this would be height 2. So then I would need to know, for I know this already, yeah? The length of this thing here. And there would be the straight angle. I know actually both of those. Because if this is that I know, that I also know that should be half of the side, yeah? So that would be like 110.5. Because the base is the square. This was 2, 2, 1, and then I went to the middle. Even maybe my drawing doesn't look like it, because there is the top there, and so then of course, well, the distance until there is the 110.5. Okay, so the height that I mark with the height 2 is then the 172 squared minus 110.5 squared. I don't know if I can actually give only one answer at a time, but I think I have to give them all at once. Oof. So then I get something. Well, now he wants the answer. Here is whole number. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, but maybe I need this answer to somewhere for sure. So let's take all the decimals here. Two. That would be my answer that I write there. There. Angle of inclination between the face and the base. Well, this should be pretty. Is this easy? Volume. Am I doing something wrong here? Do you think this is this easy as well? Yes? Yeah. Am I doing something weird? No. Okay. I don't remember because I didn't teach these last year at all. And the year before I just like had to, so then I had to calculate them all through myself. And it wasn't that easy because I also didn't have the friend that time. But then after that, I already forgot. I thought that this was more difficult. Okay, whatever. So it's this angle there, yeah. Why not? There's my angle. I'll mark it with something else. Angle alpha. I can't really see that. Okay. Alpha there. So I can calculate it whatever I want, but the accurate numbers I had this and this. So I would calculate it with, well, let's do it from the beginning. I write it with the cosine. Cosine alpha is And then I put the side. Divided by the hypotenuse. And then I get the alpha from there. That would be the angle of inclination. And I round it to the whole number. Obviously, it seems to be 50. Next, volume. And then I check the volume of this kind of a thingy from the equation book. Right circle cone. And it's the same. Right circle cone. Also for a pyramid. So there's the equation. Volume is 1/3 of the AP. This means the bottom area times height, which we already knew. So this is 1/3 times the bottom area, and the bottom was the square. So it's this squared, or side times side. Squared times the height, which was the, now I need the exact number from there. This angle I don't need anywhere anymore. Looks correct. Wow. Should be quite a lot. And now I round it to the nearest whole number. cubic meters. And now I have everything. And then I try this. Okay. Correct. Oh no. No, I'm getting this incorrect. What did I do? Or is there something wrong there? Did somebody do this before? Did you get the correct? What? What? The calculation was wrong.
Or my one is wrong.
It said that it was wrong, even if it wasn't. Okay, so then it must be there something. So this has some problem now. Okay, that's not nice. I have to check it. Okay, you can calculate onward because I have checked now. This was the third one that we did. This one I have already. No, it's third one. So these ones maybe I didn't check, but at least these ones I've checked. But not this one. So these, the ones that give you the pictures that I had to put there, I've checked and they work at least, but this has now some fault. So I have to try to fix it.
So maybe the exercise took into account that base of the pyramid that was visible on the picture actually doesn't have a square base, but every side is a bit concave, so it has same side.
Yeah, but I think this is done as simple way as possible.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's the thing. I'm gonna check quickly if there's something weird about this. Give. You didn't have. So it must be then the. I have to do something here. Maybe we should just go on and I fix this later, but I will see if I can fix it quick. Yeah, it must be because of the probably this is why it's doing it that way. Okay, I'll try again. Okay, now it just like something. Yeah, I have to have there. Test. Let's see. Try quickly again this, if it would work. Yes. So the problem was that it was doing it with the rounded value. No, but now it does it with the accurate value. Do you like this geometry calculations? No? It's at least a little bit like maybe practical, or I don't know. That's what the students thought earlier on. The Finnish students, they thought that they liked this part of the course because it was more practical. The rest of the course is not that practical.
Yeah, the fundamental equations and what was the other?
Yeah, the rest of the course. Yeah, what is there? Let's check.
Yeah, because those are still like intelligible, but then the level
Everything's fine, like everything's still the basics.
but
It's not gonna go anywhere like.
um,
Yeah, but it's just the basics of those. We don't need to do anything very theoretical at all with those, I guess. Hopefully it doesn't feel like that. Yeah, so exponential and logarithmic functions and equations. This is okay. Everything's okay here. You're anyway pretty good, everybody, with, basic maths, so it should go. Oh, here is still some stupid text. I have to check a bit the space. I didn't put all the words there that should be there. The limit and the continuity is a bit like, but then you still see there's one exercise where we'll see where you could actually use it there, and then the derivative and then the integral. Why is that bold? Okay, there's one that's bold. And this geometry is a bit nasty because it was easier this way that the students could just solve it and tell each other how to do it. Then they did all the exercises and then they get all the points. But now when I have to put these exercises to the exam as well, it gets a bit more nasty, this also. And I can't put the same. Or I can put the same but a bit modified. Well, we still have short time to go through these next lesson. We can still continue next week if you want to as well. Or before the exam, we have some reset. But there's now gonna be quite a lot of content in the first exam because the geometry has to be there as well. Okay, what can you do? So we meet again and calculate geometry this week. Thank you for now.